Have you ever felt like the world is against you? Like you're doing everything right, but everything keeps going wrong? If so, you're not alone. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful and relatable stories ever told, the story of Job. It's a profound tale about faith, suffering, and the nature of our relationship with the divine. So, who was Job? The story begins by introducing us to a man who truly seemed to have it all. He was described as blameless and upright, a man who feared God and shunned evil. He was incredibly wealthy, with a huge family, thousands of livestock, and many servants. By all accounts, he was a pillar of his community, blessed beyond measure. But then a celestial challenge takes place. In the heavenly courts, a figure known as the adversary or Satan suggests that Job's righteousness is purely transactional. He claims Job is only faithful because God has blessed him so richly. Does Job fear God for nothing? He wagers that if all of Job's blessings were taken away, Job would curse God to his face. And so, with divine permission, Job's world is systematically destroyed. In a single horrific day, he loses everything. His livestock are stolen or killed, his servants are struck down, and in a final, devastating blow, all 10 of his children die in a tragic accident. Imagine the weight of that grief, the sheer shock and horror. Yet, in the face of this unimaginable loss, Job's reaction is astonishing. He tears his robe and shaves his head in mourning, but then he falls to the ground and worships, saying, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." His faith at this point remains unshaken, but the test isn't over. The adversary argues that Job is still faithful because his own health is intact, skin for skin. He declares, "A man will give all he has for his own life, but stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face." So Job is afflicted with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. He's in constant physical agony, an outcast sitting in ashes, scraping his sores with a piece of broken pottery. His own wife, seeing his misery, tells him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." But Job rebukes her, asking, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" This is when his 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, arrive. Seeing his suffering, they sit with him in silence for 7 days and 7 nights. But when they finally speak, their words aren't exactly comforting. They operate on a simple black and white theology. God is just, so if you're suffering, you must have sinned. They spend chapter after chapter trying to convince Job to confess to some hidden transgression that brought this punishment upon him. But Job knows he's innocent. This is the heart of the book's drama. He doesn't understand why this is happening. He argues with his friends, and more importantly, he cries out to God. He questions, he laments, he demands an explanation. He doesn't lose his faith, but he does challenge God, asking for his day in court. He's raw, he's honest, and he's desperate for answers. After a long and emotional debate, God finally answers Job not by explaining the why, but by revealing his own majesty and power. In a whirlwind, God speaks, asking Job a series of profound questions about the mysteries of creation. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Have you ever given orders to the morning? Do you know the laws of the heavens? Through this incredible showcase, Job's perspective shifts. He realizes he's not the center of the universe. He can't possibly comprehend the full scope of God's wisdom. Humbled, Job says, "Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know." In the end, God rebukes Job's friends for misrepresenting him. He then restores Job's fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. He's blessed with a new family and lives a long, full life, but the ultimate reward isn't the wealth. It's the deeper, more personal understanding of God that Job gained through his suffering. The story of Job teaches us that faith isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about how we respond when hardship finds us. It shows us that it's okay to have questions, to cry out in pain, and to wrestle with a God who sometimes seems distant. But it also reminds us that our human perspective is limited, and that even in our darkest moments, there is a divine wisdom at work that is far beyond our comprehension. It's a story of enduring faith in the face of the ultimate test. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the deep questions of life and faith. See you next time.